But first, Beyonce.
Okay. Well, I met Bea when she was 16. I was working on Jessica Simpson and J-Lo at the time. I was working on the Six and Jessica's first record. And Bea was working on, I'm not sure what she was doing there. She might have been just adding something to a feature, I'm not quite sure. But someone had asked, the A&R person had asked me to, make sure that her setup was okay, and she was gonna be able to do what she needed to do. Immediately I was taken aback by the knowledge that she had. I didn't know her history. She had started performing when she was 8 and practicing and doing all this stuff with Destiny's Child and all of that. And so I didn't know that at the time. So by the time she was 16, she was a full-on pro. So I walked in a room expecting a 16-year-old person who didn't know a lot, and that was not the case at all. And this person was a professional at 16 already, and knew exactly in her head what she was going to put on tape, how she was going to do it, and comfortable with microphone, all that kind of stuff. So I walked out of the room, told the A&R person, she's good, I'm going to go back to my mix. And that was it, and that was the start of a long relationship. I worked with Bea, in 2022 on the last record. I don't think any of my mixes made the record, but nonetheless, it's always a pleasure to work with her. She's a consummate professional, always. And I worked on some of the, the self-titled that came out and sort of crashed the internet with, it came out at night. I don't even remember what time it was, but it must have been night because we had been up for 3 weeks straight in the studio trying to finish it, and basically that's all you could see at that moment of delivery on Spotify. And then Lemonade as well was another one of those epic records. And I was in the audience at the Grammys when she did not win the Grammys for those records. And I have to tell you, I don't know how she felt, but I felt bad for her, for everyone, because the work that she did to make those records. Most records don't have an artist participating like that anymore. Most of the time the artist shows up, sings the song, they're gone. They don't listen to the mix, they don't do anything. And the producers really take care of everything, the A&R people. Now obviously I'm generalizing, but it happens quite often. But Bea, is on top of every detail, every sound, everything that's going on. And it's an amazing experience to keep up with somebody like that. And be on your best creatively at all times, trying to keep up with that. As far as traveling and being bi-coastal and being a new dad, it's a complete, switch up, change up for me. My priorities are very different, but it just means that I have to be faster. I used to take, quite a long time, maybe a day and a half to mix a song, and now I don't have that time. So I've got to be able to mix a song in 4 to 6 hours. And of course I do, open it up again and again and again, but I've got to be quicker. And I've got to be able to work anywhere. And I think one quick note about my training in New York, there was a time when I used to bounce from studio to studio. I'd be at Chungking at night, and then I'd be at Hit Factory in the day, and my gear would follow me all over the city. So I think a lot of that that training of being able to mix anywhere, anytime, with any setup has kind of worked for me in this modern world where, you know, my wife and I were on a vacation in Greece and I get a phone call from B and it's like, you gotta mix. And I'm like, okay, I got my favorite headphones, I'm ready to go. And you do what you have to do. You listen in the car and you send it back to, you know, in my case, Stu White, who's her engineer, and have him listen and give me comments. And then you fly in just for the final thing. So that old school way of just moving from studio to studio really helped me out a lot.
Wow. All right. So here's a question that is very contemporary.